Why'd you do that?
Oh.
You're retarded. First time live here, folks. First time live. Didn't realize the camera was on. Live.
Well, you said push the button, so I thought that's when it was going to start being live.
No, that's when they can start hearing you, not when. Well, hello, everybody. Hope you are wonderful. As you can see, Mark and Sean are not here tonight. But an even better guest is on, my wife, Danielle.
That'll be to be determined, but okay.
No. So we just kind of say hi to the fans, and then I do my intro and everything, and then another little break to get everything settled, and then go. So
can people hear us right now or not?
Yeah, some people. Yeah, everyone can hear us right now. Yeah, okay, the mic's on. Everyone is here.
If you watch the episode of Friends where Phoebe goes, "Hello, my babies," then it is.
What the hell is that? Was she on the radio or something?
No, she was performing at Central Perk.
Oh. Okay, well, episode 141 is here, so let's get it going. I'm going to do the intro, and then we'll get the show started. So,
great.
Welcome in, everyone. So,
the millions of people that are tuning in right now.
The millions, the ones and ones of people.
Your mom.
My mom, my aunt in Montana. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Actually, you know what? A couple of coworkers have found the show, so hopefully that expands.
Live on YouTube. I
know, right? They're going to see some of the things we say. Report me to HR.
Ba-doop.
Right?
Natalie.
I'm going to show and dress that tomorrow.
If you know, you know.
Right?
With your Giggle Fest LPR meetings.
I know. Thank you. Okay, so let's do the intro. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yes, ladies and stop breathing. Can you just go over there and just...
Stop breathing?
Yeah, like the kid on Hey Arnold. All right.
Dude, this is real life. I'm fat and I'm having trouble breathing.
Oh my God. All right, here we go. 3, 2, and... Okay, you need to go out of the room. This is gonna happen. See, she didn't want to stay up late too. She's like, "Oh, we're gonna be late, so let's just go to bed."
A bitch has shows. I was trying to watch my shows.
Well, then go watch your shows.
No, that's good.
Go watch your shows.
Michael, this happens every time you try to do this. People just don't know because you edit it out. I have a giggle fest.
Well, that's true.
Like your LPR meeting, and we get started.
This is the first time we've done this live together, so that's true.
No one's logged on.
I know, right? This is the...
Usually your one viewer is me.
Oh, really? Usually that's what it is?
A-Dog. I feel like whoever A-Dog.
That's, what's his name's? What's her name's boyfriend?
What's her name's boyfriend? Who's A-Dog?
Aaron.
Oh.
Malia?
Malia.
Yeah, Marissa's...
Maya's the baby.
Yeah.
Hashtag or at Baby Maya on IG.
Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of the Comic Bookies podcast. Welcome in. If you are watching live on YouTube right now, thank you so much for tuning in. But if you're not, then this is going to be available to wherever you get podcasts tomorrow. This week on the Comic Bookies podcast, Sean and Mark are not here, but do not fear. My wife is here to give some comedy and some bomb fire sports and comic book. I need to edit that out.
How long, how much did it hurt you to say bomb, fire?
Yeah, I know, right? No cap. I should have said that. No cap, bet, or whatever whatever the hell they say nowadays.
That new push and beat.
I feel like Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino just... I just feel like that.
Wait till you get old. It's going to be even worse.
I know, right? I already feel like it. Okay, cool. So, Mark and Sean are not here this week, but have no fear. My wife is here to talk sports and comics like we do every single week. This week, the Super Bowl is set. The LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. We will see how my wife is doing after her 49ers have lost, and we will preview the game next week. We also have the Clash this Sunday in LA as the drivers start the brand new NASCAR season. And over in comic books, my wife's going to go ahead and take off, but before that, she'll talk about the Spider-Man box office news, AMC see stocks rise. And then once she leaves, I will talk a little bit of comic books, and that'll be it. But thank you so much for joining us for 141. Let's do this. Okay.
Don't edit out my bam, bam, bam.
Let me get in those, too. Some, like, spammer people, you know, like Russian.
What's up, bot?
Yeah, what's up, bot?
How you doing?
Well,
Over there in the Ukraine.
Russia. Okay. You ready to go?
Sure.
Got your water? You want your water to be
to
handy?
My palette? Yeah, let me go get my waddy.
Okay.
Water is waddy in this house.
Yes, it is. Okay.
All right. It's getting lit, kids.
All right.
Getting lit. Liddy.
Okay, folks. Thanks again for joining us
Is
live.
that probably some rapper's name? Lil Liddy.
I don't know. Okay, going back live in 5, 4.
What do you mean going back? We're live.
Meaning just like we're doing the show now.
You shouldn't cut this out. This is fire content.
Well, we don't cut it out of
The blooper reel is fire content for me.
That's what you get when you watch the show.
Okay.
When you listen to it, then this is all edited out. But when you
get perfection.
Yeah.
When you
Well,
stream
not
live,
perfection. As you can see from our our download numbers, doesn't say perfection, but it's okay.
It's all right. Just be like Joe Rogan.
I wish I wasn't like Joe Rogan, but I wish I had a successful show like he does. So, but then again, some of his episodes are like 5 hours long.
What?
Yeah, like the first like half an hour, he reads like all these ads and stuff. It's freaking insane.
5 hours long.
Yeah, watch. Go to after this, go and see some of his episodes. 3.5, 4, 5 hours. It's incredible.
I have nothing else better to do.
Okay, going back live in 3, 2, and 1. There you have it, folks. And as the music fades, hold on. And there you have it, folks. As the music fades, here we are for episode 141 of the Comic Bookies podcast. Thank you so much again for tuning in live and listening wherever you get your podcasts. Like every single week, this episode is brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Tomorrow, Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022, is New Comic Book Day, so go over to the shop, see Alex, or wherever you get your comic books, and please start up your pull list, get anything old and new in your comic book world, and enjoy. I finally got my box from like the last 3 weeks. All those ice storms and hurricanes and blizzards and whatnot finally couldn't keep my books away, so I finally got like 3 weeks worth of books.
I could do some heavy squats with that box. That would be a ton.
It was pretty heavy. But ladies and gentlemen, as you can hear her voice, you will hear that Mark and Sean are not on the show this week. They have other things to attend to, but both of them should be back next week for 142. But in their place, my wife Danielle is here. Sweetheart, thank you so much for joining the show this week.
You're welcome. I always got your back.
Yes, you do, and I appreciate that. So, what else? So, what's new? So, before we get into anything sports related, anything comic book and entertainment related, what is new in your life that I don't know about? Which is nothing, but yeah, what's new?
My shows are back. Euphoria has been back for a couple weeks. Some Housewives have started back up again. Summer House is back on again. And I believe my faves, the Slayton Sisters, 1,000 Pound Sisters, their season is about to wrap up. And Changing Diapers, keeping a 4-year-old entertained. But we do have a new title to add to our resume.
Yes, we do.
We are the Tracy Little League. T-ball under 4 coaches.
That's right.
So
athletics, yep, the little 4 and 5-year-olds just running around trying to corral them in and just teach them the fundamentals and basics of baseball without having any tears or like pee and poop in their pants,
or like Maddie
like
just wanted to pick grass for an hour.
Yeah, so this is the youngest I've ever coached, so it's going to be a challenge for both of us, but I am the assistant coach. Danielle, you are the manager, so I thank you for, kind of stepping up. Like, not a lot of people would in that instance, but
including yourself. You were pretty forced.
Well, I was at work. I wasn't even there.
Well, no, you left the practice. So Maddie had her first practice where it basically was a guy from the league trying to coerce the
An
parents
agent, yeah, the
into
player agent.
coaching because they didn't have one. And Mike left, and when he left, can I cuss on here or no?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I refrain from an F word, but anything else?
The S word.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That is fine.
He left practice and said, "Don't sign me up for shit." Like he knew, I don't want to get a call. Don't sign me up for shit. So I called him and said, I signed you up, but I also signed up myself.
Yeah.
So it was fun. We had our first practice as the coaches, and we got some incredible feedback from the parents, which, like, okay, that's all I needed right there.
Mm-hmm.
So they're cute. They're cute little kids. There's definitely some kids on the team where I'm like, dang, he's good for being 4 years old.
Yeah.
Madison, bless her heart. We've just got to find a place to practice where there's not a park, because all the kids want to do is play at the park.
Yeah.
So, sweet little girl. She's got it. She's a lefty hitter. She can throw. It's just keeping her motivated to do it. So, we had to tell her about 405 times to get off the grass, stop pulling the grass, and to stand up and participate.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be an interesting season. They're the Oakland Athletics. So maybe they can bring some good vibes to the major team.
Probably not, but we'll see.
Here's to hoping.
Yeah, but it was cool. I mean, like, unfortunately, it was down to the wire as far as, like, you had to be the coach in order for Madison to play.
Yeah,
but,
they were going to cancel
the
whole team.
But at least it's kind of like it's the silver lining. Like, once you volunteered yourself and me, it was cool to see other parents be like, okay, like, I guess they didn't want the full responsibility, but it's cool to see that they'll at least, here, I'll set up a snack schedule. Like, I'll go ahead and help with practice if you need it. And sure enough, one of the moms is going to help me when you're gone next week in Oregon. So, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, Maddie and I are taking a girls' trip up to Oregon to visit my mother. And it'll be relaxed. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. So it'll be chill.
It'll be cold.
You'll be home with Cam. So you'll have a few free boys' days. But we'll see how that goes, because he loves me more than you.
Of course.
We'll see how that works. I think we might have to keep our FaceTiming to a minimum, just so he doesn't freak out.
That makes sense.
But yeah, other than that, I've been doing good. I got my eyebrows microbladed today.
Fancy.
For all of the guys out there who don't know, yes, I got a tattoo on my face. But it's actually a really big deal. And I've been super insecure about my eyebrows literally since like junior high. So I just aged myself there a little bit. But I'm super juiced to not have to worry about it. I know you looked at me and you're like, whoa. Well, so is that like permanent? Like forever? And I'm like, yeah, it's a tattoo.
Yeah, but it looks good. I really like it. I really like it.
Thanks. Well, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
After we're done recording.
Oh, God. Jesus, I'm cut that out for sure. No kidding. But anyway, so let's get into the, the meat and potatoes of the episode. So unfortunately, let's get into the football first. We have a few things to talk about. Let's get into the football first. Your 49ers were eliminated last week by the LA Rams. Close game. It was one of those where...
Close game. That game was a joke.
Go ahead.
The game was a joke. My heart is broken. It's freaking Christmas morning for you. You couldn't be happier. We got into a huge fight because you kept saying horrible things and probably jinxing it, just like you got mad at Mark for texting you about the Charger Raider game. That's how I felt about your attitude towards the Niner game. We had the whole game, and one play flipped the script, flipped the coin, the light switch went off, there was nobody upstairs in the brain, everything flipped, and you just couldn't recover. Like, what I've learned growing up and watching sports is it's not so much the talent, well, it is the talent, but it's also the momentum. If something shifts in your mentality and the momentum of the game, forget it. Forget about it. It's done. But it was a great year, and I really just want to say, if you're listening, Debo Samuels, thank you. And we love you here. And I hope you just keep being freaking dominating. Why you didn't play more in the fourth quarter, I still don't understand, but I have to accept it. So I've never been a Bengal fan in my life the way that I am today. So what do they say? Houday?
Houday, yeah. Sometimes I get that mixed up because it's Houday and Who Dat. It's like, I forgot, but I think Who Dey is Cincinnati and Who Dat is Saints.
Well, we got that Bang Bang Niner gang.
Yeah, that's stupid.
What do you have? Las Vegas Raiders. What do you have?
Just them yelling.
Freaking Raider haters. The black hole.
The black hole. That's okay. Okay. Oh, don't make fun of the black hole ever. That is so much cooler
jokes.
And more gangster or whatever than, yeah.
Okay, let's stop with the Niner fans are gangsters because so are Raider fans. And you're just a hater because we made it further than you in the year. So we agreed next season, I'm not watching Niner games with you. So,
okay, fine.
That's not happening.
Fine, whatever.
However,
so anyways, you guys lost the game. So you guys are not in the Super Bowl.
We are not.
Debo Sammy will not be listening to his dumb boombox walking up and down the aisle. So I'm thank God, because my brother did say that. He says, how much you want to bet that Kodak Black would have been like walking with the team to that song they listened to. Mm-hmm. He goes, that would have been a sight to see, but us being the fans, we were like, oh yeah, I'm glad they're not in the game. But he goes, actually that part would have been cool because watch, they would have gotten like Kodak Black to like actually go with them, like
see,
walk in the front.
that's how out of touch I am, because I didn't even know that was his song.
Well, neither did I. Yeah,
but it was a good game. It was a heartbreaking game, and I saw on the news Sal Castaneda is the traffic guy here. If you grew up in the Bay Area, you know who Sal Castaneda is. He was at the game, and he said it was like 60-40 Niner fans versus Rams fans in attendance.
Yeah, they couldn't keep them out. They tried their hardest, their damnedest to keep the fans out of the stadium and to limit their ticket sales and stuff. But the Rams are just not they're not the team in LA. Like, they're probably the third team. The Chargers probably have more fans down there, and then of course the Raiders are like the biggest team down in LA still. So
yeah,
I mean,
Kansas City was also an incredible game.
Oh yeah,
a lot of things happened that I was not expecting to happen, and again, a momentum shift. That one interception changed the game for them in overtime.
I mean, we weren't even at home though. Remember, we were at home when it was like 21-3 or 21.
We're like, oh, let's go to the park. Like, let's get out of here.
Yeah, and then sure enough, like every 10 minutes or so, I keep looking at my phone, and sure enough, it's they score. I think they score, and then they score twice, and then one of them was a 2-point conversion to get it to 18, and then sure enough, Mark just texts, and then it's 21-21. I'm like, oh, we got to get back home to watch. It was like 13 or 12 or 13 minutes left in the game, so it was an incredible end of the game, going into overtime again. Like, how great has just this whole postseason been of just going, these last second game winning field goals and or overtime games. It's just been an amazing postseason.
That's good football for sure. And I think we talked about this. This is why the NFL dominates the way that it does. Mm-hmm. It's fast paced, it's violent, and you get these incredible games. But question for you, what do you think about Burrows? What do you think about his chances in the Super Bowl? It's a first Super Bowl for him, obviously.
First Super Bowl for a lot of people. For Stafford too.
Right, but I mean, like, he's a rookie in the league.
Yeah, he's a rookie in the league, but he's also a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback from just 2 seasons ago, who also won the national championship. So he's kind of used to big games recently.
Well, but this is a Super Bowl.
Of course, I know, but I mean, I don't know. I see the line right here is at 4.5 in favor of the Rams. If I can get, I would take the Bengals right now to at least cover, like make it a close game, like a 3-point game. Especially if I can get it, if I can get the hook up to a 5, I would take the Bengals +5 all day. I think it's going to be a good game. The secondary for the Rams is atrocious, is downright horrible. So if he gets some protection, as long as Burrow doesn't get sacked 15 times and actually has some time to throw, Jamar Chase is going to have a day. Higgins is going to have a day. Mixing out of the backfield. I think their tight end. Oh my God, I forgot his name. It starts with a U. It's just a shorter name. He's a Samoan guy. Sorry, like Usma or something like that. He got hurt really bad last week, so I'm sure he came out like out of his uniform and in like a cast thing. Yeah, CJ.
Sprained MCL.
Sprained. So I would think so. Nothing was torn, but I'm guessing he's not playing in 2 weeks. So I think it's going to be an outstanding game. The Bengals defense is just okay also, so Stafford's going to have time to throw to his weapons, to Cooper Kupp, to Odell Beckham Jr., who had, I believe, his first 100-yard game since he was it was like 2.5 years ago or something like that, when he was still in Cleveland. So it's going to be a really good game. Of course, we have another week to prepare for it. I have nothing to say about the Pro Bowl this upcoming Sunday. I have more to say about the Clash in a second. But so now we have this week for us to talk about it, and then of course we have the big Super Bowl preview show, which Mark, Sean are supposed to be on, and Alex from Treasure Island, since he's a Rams fan, is going to be back on the show next week to preview the Super Bowl. So, but what do you think about the game itself, the upcoming Super Bowl?
Alex, I think that you're a great guy, but boo.
Right.
I think it's going to be a great game. I really desperately, obviously, want the Rams to lose, but I'm excited. It seems like there's a lot of young blood that's going to be competing, so I think that's going to be good. The Rams do have some veteran players as well. I actually do like their coach a little bit. I think he's a cool dude. We watched them on Hard Knocks. So getting to see him and how he worked under John Gruden, I think it's going to be cool. And I'm super excited for the halftime show. It's just nostalgic for me. Like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige. So many songs that are quote unquote old school to all these kids nowadays are the songs that were my jam in high school. So that's going to be fun for me, and I'm sure our daughter's going to be like, what the heck is this? But I'm excited for that. I'm also excited to see the turnout, just out of curiosity, how many Bengals fans will be there versus Rams, because it is, you said, the first Super Bowl in how long?
Second in a row.
No. Where the team is playing in their hometown.
Second in a row.
Oh, because
the Buccaneers played last year in Tampa. That was the first time ever
in the history
of the NFL. And then this is the second year in a row. So it's pretty crazy how it's happened 2 years straight. But no, it's going to be. I think. Don't quote me on this, but I think they sell 50-50. Even though it's in LA, it's not going to be 75-25 Rams. I think they hold this many fans from Cincinnati or whatever. Get the. It could be a little bit of a home game. But who knows? If the Bengals fans...
Do the Bengals, traditionally travel?
I can't say. They're definitely not the Steelers, They're definitely not the Patriots, teams that are on that, on that side of the United States.
Right.
They're definitely not the Colts, but,
Well, and just
they will travel for this, because this is their first Super Bowl in over 30 years since they lost to the Niners in 89. So...
Well, I thought we could have potentially repeated that, but that didn't happen, and
that would have been for a three-peat. That would have been for the Niners and Bengals' third time playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if I could have survived losing 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. So.
And what would that be? It would be
Kansas
City. Three in less than 10 years too. Because what was it? 2000.
Although you would get mad for me complaining about that because of your team's situation.
Well, but, yeah. I'm going to throw Sean under the bus there real quick, because Sean was saying, because we were asking him before the game started, hey, bro, you going to get tickets to SoFi to go to the Niners Rams? He goes, no, I don't think I'm going to go, but you know what? It is these chances don't come very often. I was like, excuse me?
You got so mad.
I was like, excuse me.
Excuse me?
I was like, since you guys played, you guys played the Seahawks how many times in the NFC Championship game? And then you guys played the Falcons to get to the Super Bowl against the Ravens. You guys played the... Who'd they play to go to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs? I forgot. But anyways, you guys have been to the NFC Championship game 5 times in the last 10 years. So don't even say, it's once in a lifetime.
Don't hate the play, hate the game.
I can count on 2 fingers.
Speaking of hating the players, this will probably be Jimmy G's last year as a 49er, which...
Well, that stinks. But you can't...
But,
you can't help it. He's not the one.
No, he's not. And you have to be... If you want, first of all, let me back up. That guy's got to be under intense pressure, though, for being Jimmy G, trying to bring the Niners up, and then supposed to be Tom Brady's protege all those years in New England.
They should have known he wasn't.
I'm sure that there's some sort of pressure on him to some extent. Secondly, everybody said, okay, we lost. Jimmy G just did what Jimmy G does. And that's what's going to set you apart as a Hall of Famer quarterback, as a quarterback who wins all those rings. In those games, in those plays, you make those plays happen. Those plays, you don't intercept. You don't just throw the ball, you take the sack. little things like that happened. And it's frustrating because the Rams made huge mistakes that we were able to kind of capitalize on. And then, like literally the last 2 minutes of the game, we were like, we don't want to go to the Super Bowl. You guys go ahead.
Yeah, they had a few of those illegal contacts, those like little gimme 5 yards, but a first down to the Niners. They threw the interception, but the defensive back made a good play on the ball, but still they threw an interception on the goal line, the Rams did, so they missed the field goal as well. So they did make mistakes, they gave the Niners chances throughout the whole game. It's just that the Niners gave the key chances to the Rams with 10 to 12 minutes left in the game,
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like the same thing happened with the Chiefs game. They were up by so much, and then they just started making mistakes, and so many mistakes after so much time is going to cost you, and it did. So I'm excited to see how these games ended. How are these teams going to play now against each other? Both are quote unquote comeback games, coming back from being so far behind. So we'll see how the Super Bowl fares out, but it's going to be exciting. It's a Super Bowl without Tom Brady, so I'm sure you're excited about that. Finally,
we finally get a season next year without Tom Brady.
You want to talk about that?
Speaking, of course. I mean, he's been a thorn in my side since I was 12, and since I was like an actual like real football fan. Like I could probably remember watching Raiders games since like. I don't remember the Niners Super Bowl in like 95, but like right after when the season after when the Cowboys won, I kind of remember that Super Bowl. And then of course the Raiders in the late 90s, and then when they got Rich Gannon and then became good for a bunch of years in a row, going to the AFC Championship game and losing, going to the Super Bowl and losing, Yeah. So I remember all those years and all the way, of course, all the crap up until now. But no, I mean Tom Brady's been the best. I've always argued it, but. I mean, as I got older, I was just like, I can't argue it. He's the best, And so he finally, he finally said his goodbyes, and he's
How do you feel about his goodbye? He didn't once mention the Patriots at all.
I mean, I don't know if that was
the city, the fans.
Well, I don't know if that was an official goodbye. He might do something.
It was an official goodbye on his Instagram.
Okay, well that's an Instagram. He might get up. So like he might have been just saying
conference?
He might have been just saying goodbye to the current team he was on. I'm pretty sure he's going to do something like LeBron James, the decision. Remember when he went to the Miami Heat? I'm sure he's going to do something big like that and kind of have a sit down interview on either 60 Minutes or SportsCenter or whatever the hell HBO special. It's going to be something big to like actually have a goodbye for someone who's been so influential to the game of football for sure.
Well, hopefully. I mean, we'll see. I know there's obviously critics out there already that are, what is it when you stuff your nose up like, what is sticking your nose up to his Instagram post because he announced his retirement. He thanked a bunch of people, team-wise, but then individual people. He thanked all of the city of Tampa Bay, the fans of Tampa Bay, and everyone was like, well, what about your 6 other rings with the Patriots? So we'll see. Hopefully he does, out of just respect for all those years. I don't know if he left on good terms, bad terms, whatever, but
he will. And now it's just crazy. Like this generation is officially like kind of come and gone. Like you have.
Yeah, you're right.
All when we were growing up, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Tom Brady, like they're all gone now. Like now Aaron Rodgers is like the old guy,
No, he looks it.
So yeah, that coronavirus really, got him. But anyways. But yes, so long to Tom Brady. I'm sure the guys want to talk about it again next week. But yeah, so long, loser. So
long, winner.
Winner because of the tug rule.
Yeah.
Anyways, which is I think coming this month, February or March, maybe. I forgot what the 30 for 30 is. But anyways, so let's get into one more piece of. Actually, you know what? We have a few other pieces of news. So Josh McDaniels. We'll talk about it more next week, obviously, but because you're not, like Josh McDaniels didn't really know who he was. So he's a new. I just saw an article right now that Jim Harbaugh is expected to agree to be the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings.
No.
So he says he's leaving he's leaving Michigan. There were reports that he was going to join the Raiders as well, but obviously that didn't happen. But I just got a little Mark sent me a little article.
Mark's Vikings.
I know, right? I know Mark's second favorite team, his NFC team, the Vikings. But yeah, so pretty crazy news. And then Brian Flores, the now fired coach of the Dolphins is now suing the NFL for just malpractice in their hiring processes and just calling it kind of, just racist bias.
Well,
and
he has text messages from
Bill Belichick and
to prove that.
So I sent the gif of Jared Leto Joker, and here we go. Like all these people, like I wonder how all these dominoes falling. I wonder who's going to get clipped or at least reprimanded for their actions.
We'll see, and
Who
that's
knows?
opening a whole other can of worms for a whole other conversation. But stuff in the NFL, you can't hide it and bury it forever. So,
Well, yeah, I know.
That'll be interesting.
Yep, so on to NASCAR. I know all you guys who are NASCAR fans, like all the hundreds of people who listen to the show who are NASCAR fans, have missed us talking about the great sport that ended in November, I think, when Kyle Larson hoisted the trophy and became the champion of the 2021 season. But 2022 is now in the windshield. You know how you say it's in the rearview mirror? Now it's in the windshield.
It's in the forefront.
Yeah, it is ahead of us. We are in the pits, making sure all the single lug nuts now. Remember, it's not the front. It's the single lug nut on the tire this year. The next gen car is here, and we are having a first time race at the LA Coliseum for the Busch Light Clash. So this is like just the preseason race. That's kind of like just the preseason, pretty much. It's like, this means nothing, so just try to get out there and try to, shake off the cobwebs of actually being in a race. But they converted the LA Coliseum into a very, very short track. If you don't believe me, please go to NASCAR's Instagram page from 2 weeks ago. They do a little ride along of that track, and it seems short. It seems like half the size of Bristol, because I've always, I'm well seasoned in driving on Bristol in the video game. But anyways, so it's going to be cool to watch. You guys will be gone because you're going to be in Oregon. That's the day you guys leave. But I'm going to come home. I'm going to slow cook some ribs with Cam, and I'm going to just sit back, relax, and watch a race for the first time in 3 months. Actually, you always think that some of these seasons don't have a big off season. NASCAR has a very small off season. They only raced their last race in Arizona in November, and it's already back the first weekend in February. So
for betting purposes, does this preseason race mean anything? You
can.
Suarez was out there dominating. His amount is going up. He looks so good this season.
For your futures, I probably wouldn't place any.
Larson looks terrible this season. He didn't do well at the Clash race.
That is not going to be any foreshadowing for the season. I would think that the only kind of foreshadowing that you would see on futures is probably people who looked good. If Alex Bowman or if Kyle Busch or if Kevin Harvick or Denny Hamlin, if those guys performed poorly or whatever, I don't think it would be a stain on what would be their 2022 season. Okay. But if Ross Chastain, he was this close from a couple wins last year, Daniel Suarez had a couple top tens, if they perform well, then Trackhouse is going to be on the map this year. So who knows? Actually, I hope that team performs well, because now Dana White's actually joined the team.
I was going to say, are people going to be watching to see how that?
I know, right?
looks?
Because Mark said, and we'll talk about it next week, but Mark did say that he thinks that soccer, because he always has this opinion during the big tournaments, like the Euro Cup and the World Cup. He's like, I'm telling you, Mike, within the next 5-10 years, soccer's going to be huge. And seeing this now, the music industry, Alvin Kamara is one of the ambassadors of the NFL to NASCAR. Now Dana White has gone into a partnership with Trackhouse Racing.
Obviously Michael Jordan, but Dana White just announced today that there's a deal. The number 42 Chevy of Ross Chastain for Trackhouse Race Team is going to be the main sponsor is going to be his bourbon or his whiskey or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Of course, Michael Jordan now has a 2-car team co-owned with him and Denny Hamlin. So a lot of different things are, there's basketball, there's football, there's UFC fans. So I think you're bringing in a lot of different people into watching this sport, because I think when I joined in the fandom in 2015-16, I think the sport was on a downturn. After when Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon were winning all those championships, I think it was at a peak in the 90s and 2000s. I think when I started watching the racing, I thought it was entertaining as hell because it's something new for me. But with all those the stage races and everything, I think that the ratings and the sport was at an all-time low, actually. So
So who knows? But I'm excited. You won't be able to watch it just because you'll be with Maddie and your mom. So enjoy your time there, and we will enjoy our time. Okay?
It's going to be a Sunday for the boys
Yes, ma'am.
situation at the house. So good luck. The kid doesn't want to eat meat, so cooking a rack of ribs is going to be really a farewell for you. You're going to be eating meat sweats.
Meat sweats for the next couple days, for sure. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much the sports side of the podcast. So let's get into a couple things before you head out, before I start talking comic books, because I know you don't give a crap about that.
It's not that I don't give a crap. I just don't read them.
True. Just like...
And I think that some of the drawings are, like, not particularly appropriate for the kids to see. But.
Well, that's very true. That's very true. I just read a book just now. I'll talk about that. Just there's people getting knives through the face and heads chopped off and stuff. So yeah, but it was a very entertaining issue of Undiscovered Country, but we'll get into that in a second.
But I will say thank you to Treasure Island for always providing the kids stuff for my daughter, the golden books.
Yeah.
My Mike just got her a Ryan's World, if you guys know.
All the parents know who Ryan is from Ryan's World on friggin' YouTube. So I got her a little comic book. It was their like caught in a box maze, cardboard box maze. That was pretty cool. I read it to her last night.
She literally opened it, screamed, ran and gave you a big hug. So
yeah,
definitely, if you don't read comic books, that's okay. Alex actually has other stuff that you could possibly find for your family.
Yeah, because I mean,
it for you.
This May I'm 35, and I remember reading those little golden books. You know, so like they still make them. So I got her like one that's based off of Space Mountain. I just read it to her last night or tonight.
They're cute too.
It's funny too because it's an African American family, and the mom and the brother and the sister go on the ride, and the dad like doesn't like heights, so he goes on the People Mover. I think it's based in Florida, and I said, dude, that's Sean right there. Like Sean is the dad, and the skinny black guy is gonna be on the People Mover and not be on Space Mountain with his kids. Oh, anyways,
that's some joy. If you want some joy in your life, fly a plane with Sean Powers.
Oh my God, that's amazing. If I could find that video, it's archived in my
Joe
brain.
Has it.
Joe might have it.
Joe might have it.
I don't know.
Anyway,
so but yeah, I mean, I got her that one, and I think I got just one random one that's based off of like what Disney World, right? It was like
it was for their 50th anniversary. Actually.
That's right. But yeah, so what were we doing? Oh yeah, just entertainment wise. So we've been watching last couple episodes of Boba Fett, which
really good.
Yes, which is really good. We actually it was pretty much another episode of The Mandalorian.
Random though. Like I wonder how they're gonna. Obviously, they're tying him into working with Boba Fett.
It was just weird. It was just weird not to see Boba Fett.
Right.
It's the book of Boba Fett, and the episode was Return of the Mandalorian, but I thought maybe halfway through the episode he would have seen Boba Fett and kind of talked about their plans and everything. Right. But no, it was completely about him going back to Mos Eisley, finding the mechanic lady, and it was just getting a new ship, and all about them.
But some big thing did happen. He got in trouble by the lady, who makes the weapons, for taking off his helmet and showing who he was. Yeah. So he's no longer quote unquote a Mandalorian. So that's going to be interesting on how that plays out to the Mandalorians next season. Like,
do they hunt him? You know, because he still dons the Beskar steel.
Well, I don't think so.
Are you not allowed to wear it?
She wouldn't have let him leave if that was the case, I feel. And does he still have the Darksaber thingy?
I think so.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I really haven't.
No, she forged the Darksaber.
No, she didn't. He had the.
She forged
Grogu's little. We don't know what.
No, she forged the spear.
No, what do you mean? Then what does forge mean?
Forge is when she burned it.
Oh, I thought forge meant make.
Yes, fine. She forged Grogu's new gift, which I think is chainmail.
So cute.
Out of the spear. So we'll hopefully fingers crossed, see Grogu next week.
Yeah.
But that's so Boba Fett's been pretty good.
Do you know how many episodes it's going to be? Is it going to be like MCU stuff where it's only like 6 episodes?
I think it's going to be more than 6. Now, I would base it off of what Mandalorian is.
It was quite a few, I believe.
8 to 10?
Yeah.
If you want to look that up real quick. But no, it's been pretty good. We already talked about...
What do you think about his past, the going to past to present in the episode?
You mean him going with like the Raiders and stuff and going back to the present?
Yeah, and kind of
I love those. I love those type of shows. You know, they always did that they always did those in Better Call Saul, and The Walking Dead. They always did that. They always flashed it back to where he wasn't bald. Remember, he looked like the dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston, and they went back to then the present where he's bald and has cancer and went through chemo and everything. So I love those types of shows where you think you get the story, but it's like, wait, how does that tie in? And then all of a sudden 6 episodes later, you're like, oh my God, that's what happens.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff.
And you get a picture of why he is the way that he is. Oh, that happened. Well, that explains why he's acting like this.
In 141 episodes, we've used the term like Tarantino'd it like 50 times in doing this show. So, I think it's,
I enjoy it. And I like that it's the original actor from the older movies.
1, 2, and 3?
Yeah. You don't particularly care for those. I actually enjoyed them.
No, I did. I don't like 7, 8, 9.
Oh, that's right.
No one likes 7, 8, 9. Unless you're really, really young and that was your first ever Star Wars. Like, oh my God, that's so cool.
It's like my little brother, yeah.
But then your little brother at least has watched 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. He's in the 1, 2, 3 era.
I don't know. It's all very confusing to me. But, yeah. Anyways, I'm enjoying Boba Fett. I'm just telling you, and I know you probably don't enjoy to hear it, but Disney is just killing it. With Marvel, with Star Wars. Like, they know what they're doing, and they're riding the train. And I'm on the train ride for the long haul.
Yep. Only a few more episodes until we have not seen the Batman.
I know.
That's
Did
in
you
1
see
month.
The new trailer that they just released for it?
Just released?
Yeah, it was like a couple days ago. They released a new trailer.
Like really what Riddler looks like? Because he's all over the posters now.
I'm not sure. I didn't watch it, but I was like, oh, I wonder if Mike has seen this.
I don't know if I watched the brand new one.
They released it during one of the football games, I think.
Then maybe not. So we'll go back and watch it. But,
yeah.
I mean, to go on some of the CW shows, I finished the 2nd season of Stargirl, which is pretty good. Actually, it's not bad. It's actually not bad. It's actually, what I'm about to say is kind of connected. Not connected, but it kind of similar themes. You had the Justice Society of America, and now this show is basically based off of these other smaller children taking the helm of these heroes. You have a girl who's Dr. Midnight now, and then of course Stargirl takes over Starman, and you have Stripe's son is taking over the helm, it looks like, of the big huge robot machine. So it's a pretty cool show. It's definitely cheesy at times, like all CW shows are, but it's cool. And actually, you know what? The beginning, like 5 episodes so far of the 3rd season of Batwoman is really good.
Yeah, you were saying that.
So what happens at the end of the 2nd season is that a lot of things from the archives of Bruce Wayne, like the canister of the freeze formula, right? A little bit of Vine from Poison Ivy, Penguin's umbrella, everything gets washed away in like some river. And now you have these like younger kids finding it. Like some younger kid found and bought on eBay Mad Hatter's hat. So now it was like an episode with Mad Hatter, but like it wasn't Jervis Tetch. It was some other guy, but he was just taking over mantle. Then you had an episode where some kid found found a Killer Croc's tooth, accidentally scratched himself with it, and turned into like a new Killer Croc 2.0. So they've been fighting against all these characters. They just had a Mr. Freeze episode, and now you find that Ryan, she's the new Batwoman from last season. She now knows who her mom is. She's currently sitting in as CEO of Wayne Enterprises. So I mean, it's a good show so far. What else? Caught up with Walking Dead because that show doesn't come back until February, I think. Almost done with Supergirl because this is the last season. So I think I have a handful more episodes, like 2 or 3, and then I'm absolutely done with that. Just like I finished Black Lightning a few months back. That show's now done. I'm technically in the beginning of November because I always watch them in order of all my shows. So that means in a couple weeks I should be starting The Flash. So,
awesome.
Yep. So those shows have been pretty good so far. And then your show that we started watching yesterday and just got freaking, we like barely,
so many chores.
We barely watched our kids. We watched this so hard. So I will let you tell everyone while I wet my whistle because I'm tired of talking.
Well, before I get into that, I also just want to give you one little piece of news. Spider-Man No Way Home might soon be unseating Avatar as the 3rd highest grossing film of all time in the United States and Canada, their box office. So as of Monday, today is Tuesday, so as of yesterday, Spider-Man has racked up over $735 million in the U.S. and Canada alone since its release December 17th. It is only behind Avatar by $25 million. So that's kind of big. Also, still far behind, however, Avengers Endgame, which grossed almost $860 million domestically. So it's got a ways to go for that, but I would watch it again to help them get that $25 million because it was an incredible movie. But to go back to what you're saying, I was scrolling through Netflix. Michael was helping me get the kids in bed, and I was just being a couch potato, surfing Netflix, and I saw this show called I, Georgina, and I saw Cristiano Ronaldo, and I was like, oh, what is this? Apparently, they have a reality series, and it focuses primarily on Georgina, not really Cristiano Ronaldo and what is personally going on in his day-to-day, but obviously they address his career multiple times. It's actually kind of sad because he's never there. And I don't know if that's done intentionally or if he really is just never there, if they don't really want to make it about him. But one of the coolest things is, how do I say this? Soccer is not, or football is not like the number one sport in the United States. It's the NFL football. But to see the way soccer is to everyone else around the world is like literally mind-blowing. And his fame is insane. And he said, which I actually thought was really sweet, he said, I am so privileged with the money that I have, the fortune I have, you know, to be able to do these things in my life and give my family everything. But football really takes away so much of your life. It restricts so much of my life because I train all year, and because of the fame status I have, I can't do anything. My children can't really be normal kids or do anything. So he was talking about how he was really trying to make sure they had as much normalcy as they could with their 800 million cars and getting to go to amusement parks, closing it for the day for them. But at the same time, he's literally going to like a store, and there's massive security. People are glued to the windows, like no privacy at all. So I can't imagine that kind of life, but it's good, man. And his chick, Georgina, they met at the Gucci store in Madrid. She has very humble beginnings in Spain.
Like he does.
Yeah, so they bonded over that, and to kind of see their relationship is nice. It also like boosted her and skyrocketed her celebrity, again, over in Europe, not so much the United States. So we're all kind of getting to know who this chick is as well. And she does a lot of
She's a philanthropist.
Yes. She does a lot of that work for kids who are like in foster homes and stuff. So she's, the current episode I'm watching, she's receiving an award for doing that. And she'll FaceTime Cristiano Ronaldo with these kids. And the little boys and girls are just sobbing because they love him. I mean, he is like
God.
He is not Beyonce. He is not Justin Bieber. He is like the holy mecca of their lives. And it's so sweet to see these kids lose their minds. And they gifted him with all of his cleats, all of his soccer.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And you get to see a lot of his kids. And I know there's been a lot of rumors and speculations about his children, the mother of his children. So currently she is pregnant with twins. So this was obviously filmed sometime last year. But it's so amazing to watch. And I love Europe. We've been to Europe. I love the old, architecture, the art, the culture, the people. It's amazing, and it just inspires me to travel. But it's cool, man. And they just got word that he has to go to Man U. So that's where we are in the season.
Oh, cool.
But it's all in Spanish. So everything is in subtitles.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not hard to read.
No, and she's gorgeous. Like, way to go, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah,
she's absolutely
very
beautiful.
Pretty. Very beautiful. Okay, cool. So I think that's pretty much it for, sports and then comic book entertainment slash what else what we're watching and stuff. But sweetheart, thank you so much for joining the podcast with us. You can wave goodbye to everyone in live land. But yeah, we're gonna say goodbye to you. But I'm just gonna take a quick break right now. You're going to hear a little bit of some epic music, and then we're going to come back, or I am, and I'm going to talk a little bit about 10-15 minutes about what I've been reading lately, and we'll sign off for episode 141. So thank you so much to my wife, Danielle, and we will be right back with episode 141. See you in a second.
Love you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Comic Bookies podcast, episode 141 right now. Thank you so much for listening right now on Apple iTunes. We are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Androids. You can get your podcast. You can get it anywhere you listen to podcasts. And right now, if you're watching live on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe and tell your friends about us. Like every single week, we collide the worlds of sports and comics on behalf of Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Please go see Alex tomorrow, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays. The shop is open. He's got everything you need to satisfy your comic booking needs. So, let's get into some comic books. As you know, Sean and Mark are not here this week, so I'm going to try my best to kind of, breathe through this. I haven't done a solo podcast in a very, 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 very long time. So, this week is New Comic Book Day, the first New Comic Book Day in February of 2022. So, 2222 is tomorrow, and here are some of the books that you can expect on your bookshelves at your local comic book store. On the DC side, we have Batman number 120. Detective Comics 1051, Dark Knights of Steel number 4, Suicide Squad 12, The Joker Puzzle Box, I believe, finishes with number 7, and Monkey Prince, a brand new series. I'm grabbing that issue. Number 1 comes out tomorrow. Over on the Marvel side, Amazing Spider-Man number 88, Daredevil Woman Without Fear number 2, Alien number 9, a new series with Sabretooth starts tomorrow, number 1, Spider-Woman number 19, and the Fantastic Four Life Story number 6 is out. That finishes that story. I can't wait to grab that one. Over on the Image side, Spawn 326, Crossover 11, Noctera is back with number 7. Geiger gives us an 80-page giant, so we'll see what's happening and going on in the world of Geiger. And Newburn, one of Mark's favorite new stories, number 3. Boom Studios gives us Basilisks number 7, and AWA comes out with a brand new series this week. Primos number 1 comes out. So, for all of you who have been listening the last couple weeks, because of, inclement weather in the Midwest, on the East Coast, I haven't gotten a lot of my books. Yesterday I got, a fat stack of books. It was probably 25 to 30 books from over the past 3 weeks, from the 12th, the 19th, the what's plus 7, the 26th of January. So I got all of those books except for, I think, Pennyworth, but that's been delayed. So I tried to get in as much as I could, yesterday and then today during the kids' naps. But I don't know, I just couldn't, get as much as I could in. Actually, I didn't want to read, Joker and the Detective Comics, the weekly Shadow of the Bat story that's been coming out. I didn't want to get into those and kind of talk about it now. I definitely wanted to wait until Sean and Mark came on the show next week to do that. So I'm just going to give, my opinion on a couple books that I've read over the last couple of days. And obviously, and then of course from weeks and weeks ago that I never got a chance to talk about. So what I read yesterday and today from 3 weeks ago, Knighted. Knighted's a pretty good story from AWA. It's kind of like a Batman sort of series, but it's cool because it's in the Resistance world. The Resistance was one of the first books, if not the first book, that came out on AWA. And if you know the universe, then you know that any kind of type of story within that universe is going to be pretty good. So yeah, I like it so far. Issue number 3 was pretty badass. The Knight, he has now taken over the mantle of the Knight. He has found out where the major bad guy, where his headquarters are, so we'll see what happens next week. Stillwater number 12, I think it might be going on a break because it didn't say what date number 13 came out on, but pretty cool. This story is wild because they shoot people in the face or they stab them in the neck or in the heart or whatever, and of course when you're in the confines, the city limits of Stillwater, you're not going to die, right? So they kind of have a mutiny. They take out the Greaves and everything, and then they take out the mayor, who is now a kid, but he's been around in the city for so long he's not really technically a kid anymore. And then finally they kind of get overtaken, and they take him out to the they take her son out to Laura's son out to the to the outer limits. That's where they kind of go to kill people, right? They go just beyond the city limits. They kill them, they burn them, they shoot them, they stab them or whatever, and then they actually die because they're no longer in the city limits. So what was so weird was that the mom and the former sheriff, they go into the mayor's office. They had shot the kid in the face with a shotgun, so he's slowly starting to like kind of manifest back to himself, but he obviously can't do anything to them. And they draw like the city limit, like they draw it on the map, like outside again. They extend the borders. And so when they set the son on fire, it's so weird because then he's like half man, like his skin's been like burned off. So it's like you can see a skeleton. They're like, what the hell? He like escapes from like the, from the stake that he's been burned at. And he's just kind of like walking towards them. So it's pretty wild how they almost killed him, but, they were using their noodles and they extended the city limits. Let's see. I'm excited that Noctera's back. They had a Blacktop Bill special, pretty much just kind of profiling the main, bad guy. From Aftershock, this is like from a month ago. Cross to Bear is pretty good. I think it's like a 5-issue miniseries. That one's pretty good so far. The End, the 8th and final issue of the longest AWA series so far. Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal. That comic book's wild. Garth Ennis is Garth Ennis. If you know Garth Ennis, it's spot on him. His writing, just crazy shit happening there, and I can't wait. Hopefully number 2 comes out. One book that I got from the 12th that I probably won't be pulling on the pull list is from Vault Comics. I don't get a lot from Vault, but We Ride Titans, and it's pretty much what you would think. The story, starts out with a kaiju, a big old, monster, Godzilla-looking thing trying to, destroy their city, and they have huge titans, like huge robot things that are man-powered. And it turns out that the guy manning the machine, they find, he's got problems. Obviously, he's an alcoholic and he's drunk, And so the kaiju kind of runs into the titan. The guy ends up killing the kaiju. He gives like a big laser blast through his belly, but they like kind of destroy part of the city, right? So he's been decommissioned. He's been, kind of kicked off of the team, so to speak, and they kind of pressure the sister, who's, I don't know if she was a former, Titan writer, but she's, all business. She has a wife or a girlfriend, I think wife, and, she's very supportive, but the mom comes and kind of gives her a guilt trip to go and kind of replace her brother, and she ain't taking no shit. But no, it's a pretty good story. It's written by Tress Dean, artist is Sebastian Perez, D. Knief is the colorist, and Jim Campbell on the letters. But not bad. Not good enough for me to pull it. I don't know if it's going to be a miniseries. I think it is, but yeah. Speaking of miniseries, and it's also ending, May's book is finally over. Jeff Lemire. This was just a weird one. I think it was just kind of like just the mental, just kind of the PTSD and what people, how they go through mourning when their loved ones die. But it was kind of a weird book. I think it's done, but yeah. If I knew what I was getting into, I probably wouldn't have pulled it. So, not Jeff Lemire's best work, but not horrible, right? And then finally, the 2 best books I read this week, The Department of Truth, number 15, and Undiscovered Country, 18. Actually, Undiscovered Country was actually better than Department of Truth. But just an interview of, one of the agents and someone who works for also there. They're kind of just the, like, how did you hunt down this Mothman, And it's detailed. It's very, very detailed, and it's worth the money too that I paid for this one because there's a lot of writing, a lot of content to read. So pretty good. But Lee Harvey Oswald is with this person who's being interviewed. That's kind of, Hines, he's the one who has like the tinfoil cap on his head, but he says he's concerned. He's concerned about Lee Harvey Oswald kind of losing it there, seeing the Mothman, and he's just kind of, he kind of stood there when they finally caught it, and just he stood there and just kind of stared at it, like he wasn't afraid, or I don't know. It's going to be, I think it's the beginning of the end, like the downturn for, Lee Harvey Oswald at the Department of Truth, so he's losing it there. So we shall see what happens in the ongoing issues, but James Tynion doing a great job right now. Undiscovered Country, we have the 6th and final issue. It looks like of the 3rd arc, Huge reveal at the end, which I think this, just like Stillwater, is going to be taking a little bit of a break. Huge reveal at the end that the Destiny Man is none other than Charlotte, and I forgot the brother's name, but it's the brother. He's like, oh my God, it looks like Dad. He goes, well, I better look like Dad. I'm your brother. So, and he's not like he's not going to be working with them, right? That's his. Like, America is his destiny. Like, Aurora is his destiny. That's why he calls himself the Destiny Man, right? And he won't give up easily. He said, they were here for a long time after they got rid of you two, Charlotte. And when two people love each other very much, I don't care. Yeah, man. That's, so they had him, and he says that this nation is my birthright more than it was ever yours. I was literally bred to rule this place. So he's got a huge power trip, and we shall see, because they got thrown into different parts of the nation, I think. They got split off. So the brother goes with Charlotte and her brother, and then the other 5 or 6 people of the crew get kind of split off into 2 other areas inside of America. What America is kind of right now. So there you have it. That's like a little bit of what I've been reading in comic books. We'll have more, obviously, next week when Sean and Mark are back. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much again to my wife for jumping on the podcast. It's another short episode, but that's pretty much it. Next week, we're going to have a huge, Super Bowl preview show. We're going to have Alex from Treasure Island Comics back on the show, because we told him that he was supposed to come back on if the Rams won, and they sure as hell did. So we're going to get Sean's thoughts on the end of the season, how it went over the last 2 months since he's been gone. Of course, Mark, we're going to get his insight on what happened in the Clash, going forward into the duels and in the Daytona 500, which is the week after. So we have some big weeks coming up on the podcast. A Super Bowl preview show, a Daytona 500 preview show, reactions from those races and games after those episodes. So huge weeks coming up so far. And shoot, this is our 3rd year doing this. So, I mean, you guys should know that this time of the year is huge for the podcast, because we love our football and we love our NASCAR. But for my wife, Danielle, thank you so much for joining again. For Alex and Treasure Island Comics, thank you so much. We've been brought to you by there. Please follow us on all social media platforms. We're Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Comic Bookies. Please email us at thecomicbookies@gmail.com. Subscribe to the Twitch page, the Twitter page. Not Twitter page, the Twitch and the YouTube page. We're just The Comic Bookies. For all of your videos, your shorts, your live streams, just please check us out. And of course, download us wherever you get your podcasts and spread the word, man. We're doing what we love for 3 years, and we're not going anywhere. So thank you so much. But for Mark and Sean, who'll be back next week, this is Mike. This has been 140 episodes of the Comic Bookies podcast. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy each other. Peace out, y'all. See you next week for the Super Bowl preview show. Rams and Bengals. Here we go. All right, guys. Peace out. Hope everyone enjoyed the show tonight. I'm going to go edit this thing, get it out there, and then get the hell to bed, because I got work tomorrow. Peace, guys.